How grateful are you for being here? I am really grateful to have your attention, and I'm very excited to share with you today this lesson that I called A Beautiful Mind. This is a practice that I developed based on my understanding of how the body follows the mind, which is something that I've seen consistently over 13 years of professional practice. Here's what I see happening in the neuroscience of this, which I won't go into very deeply, but I would like you to understand. When you have a thought, when you have an association between something and the interpretation you give it, your brain makes a connection between two neural cells that is called synapses and immediately becomes reality for you. This is something that we use often when we train with athletes or musicians and we have them play in their head or perform the race or the sport activity in their head, because that mental rehearsal, that ability to do it in the head, counts as repetition for the body and they actually get better. How can we use this as regular people, not athletes? Is understanding that every time we create a thought, every time we connect two things, two neurons, to one idea and its interpretation, one symbol and its meaning, we are creating reality. And our brain is taking it as it's happening. It has even been measured in a lab that when the researchers put people exercising in the gym and compare with people exercising in their mind, doing bicep curls, the participants that imagined doing bicep curls gained 20% muscle mass compared to the ones that actually did it. It's interesting to see that now science is catching up with practices that for thousands of years were suggested to us by teachers and visionaries, and before didn't have the scientific proof that they have right now. So that's the science of it. That is how this works and why this works. Now, I would like to explain to you how can we use this for sleep. So let's pretend that you are lying down and you have your perfect setup, and yet there's something there that is maybe bothering you a little bit. You don't know really what it is, but it's a thought or something that is kind of grabbing you. And you have your practices, you know how to move your attention and maybe engage in one of the gratitude or loving kindness practices, and yet this thought is so persistent. So I would say at that time you have a perfect opportunity to become your own scientist, your own surgeon, and say, okay, let's take a closer look at this thought. And let's say in your thoughts, in your mind, you are worrying about something you need to do tomorrow or next month, or perhaps something somebody said, or something that day didn't go well, or maybe somebody near you is sick or is going through some pressure, some problems. Whatever is keeping you up is trying to catch your attention, tell you something. So at that time you can imagine that symbol and the interpretation you're giving it, it's creating that reality for your brain. So at the moment you are believing that that is true, and the more you think about it, the more that connection between your two cells becomes stronger, and before you know it, it's a done deal. You don't even question it. So that is a perfect opportunity to look at that mind of yours and say, let me see about transforming this thought, even as an exercise, into a beautiful thought. And sometimes it might seem silly or hard to believe because you have to actually go at it and change it. You may want to transform it into its opposite or place it as a question to your mind. You may want to delete, edit some of the content of it and focus only on another part. Let's use a practical example so this is clearer. Let's work with a thought that you may have about somebody that is ill, and this person is recovering but is really not so well, and you're not sure if the person is gonna get better or not. So in your mind you're creating this sense of a little bit of anxiety, despair, doubt. You are worried, your heart is tight, maybe you have this feeling in your belly that something's not right. You feel a little helpless. If you know that you're creating that on command and you see how your body follows your mind, you will notice the chain of events from the first thought of so-and-so in my life is sick to all the other thoughts and how they begin to make you feel a certain way. Now, how can we transform that into a beautiful mind? As you identify the thought, the initial thought that comes and tells you so-and-so is not well, that's an opportunity for you to stop and create the next thought on command, where you can say, so-and-so is better today than it was yesterday. I see the progress that we are making after introducing this medicine or this practice. Or I can imagine his body responding well to this treatment. Or I know that the life that makes the body heals the body and he will be okay. Or I am so happy that I can support him and be with him as he's not feeling his best right now. And you see, very soon, the same thought that wanted to say attack your nervous system, hijack your awareness, and get bigger and bigger, because of course if you focus on he's not well and we go down that path, you will have many more ramifications of the thought. Just like a river going down will have all these little lines of water that end up being little creeks. The moment where you can see the thought coming up and you can say, wait, I have a beautiful mind. I can create my beautiful mind. How would it be? And you start playing with it, looking for little things that you can make out of that initial thought that are actually true, that you're not lying to yourself, but you can make positive, you can make hopeful, you can make real for your brain as indications of love, health, support, trust, hope, at the very least neutrality, will balance out the worry, the anxiety, the tension that otherwise would be created if you just let it go rampant. So I guess the name of the lesson, A Beautiful Mind, it implies that you are the creator of your beautiful mind. Of course, I take that for granted because I know to be the creator of my own reality. So if that's stopping you from believing this practice is beneficial or possible, consider that you create everything that you see, because you assign meaning to everything, to your perceptions. And as you transform the perception and identify an object, an event, a person, a situation with a different meaning, you are actually creating a different reality. So how do I work with this practice today? I would say during the day, you have opportunities to look at something that is making you tense, and you know that feeling, and traps in your jaw, sometimes holds your breath. We looked at it last sessions in the pattern of anxiety. Look at those moments as an opportunity to see if you can stop the mind from going rampant and create a beautiful mind, even if it's just one thought at a time. And notice the feedback from your body. Observe the sensation in your body. If you do that several times a day, it will become easier to do at night when there's less stimulation and the mind has more time to create. Of course, if you are able to take the practice to the next level, you can create beautiful, positive things that you want for you in your life. That would be the ideal, right? That you have a blank slate and you can use this exercise, this practice, to create all the lovely things that you want to happen in your life. Yeah, that is where the power of imagination comes online, and you can, since you have the blank space, you can use this time to create, to have a thought, an intention, assign some sort of symbol to it, and then feel it as if it's already happening. Yeah, that would be a creative process that you could engage on using this exercise. Today I want to just give you this practice of beautiful mind creation. I hope you have fun with it. Let me know if you need any support or help. Let me know if you have any questions. And please make sure to journal, even if it's just a small entry, so you have a way to measure the effect of these practices. And thank you so much again for your attention. Much love.